Hey crafty people, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. Over the years I've dabbled in most types of crafting, although for the past decade or so I've been doing primarily card making and mixed media art. I've recently embarked on a junk journaling journey that I hope you'll join me on. So today we are going to take some non-craft supplies and create collage fodder using some distress inks and distress oxide inks. And then we're going to create a masterboard that we can make tags, card backgrounds, journaling cards, whatever we want from. Let's get crafting. What I want to do today is have a bit of a play with my inks. This is inspired in part by the Lazy Masterboards Louisa Heinzel created for her 40,000 subscriber celebration. I will link that video down below. And what we're going to be playing with is some non-craft items. If you've watched Pam at the Paper Outpost, her philosophy in life is everything is craft supply until proven otherwise. But what we're going to be grabbing is some stuff that you would not pick up necessarily at your craft supply store. And we're going to create some collage fodder to then create some masterboards. And basically, I just want to play with some ink, get some papers and non-papery materials inky to then create a masterboard with. So what I've got is some funky packaging that I figured would be interesting inked up, and so it's got a little corrugation in it, and that would add some interesting texture on a masterboard. So I've got some of that. I've got some craft colored packaging material and some white packaging material. I've also grabbed some parchment paper, and this has been sitting in my stash, and I know it was used in some kind of packaging. Probably, you know, those pieces of furniture you can pick up at Target, IKEA, Walmart, wherever, where you assemble them yourselves. This is probably wrapped around some of the pieces to keep them from scratching. So it's kind of fabric-y, and we're gonna see what happens if we add some ink to that. So let's move that stuff out of the way for a minute. So I'm just gonna tore a piece of the craft colored material into something smaller and easier to work with. And in fact, I think I might tear it down again. And because I'm working on Christmassy stuff, I am going to be pulling out mostly my Christmassy fillers. So I've got out Lumberjack Plaid Distress Ink. I've got Rustic Wilderness Distress Ink. I'm also going to grab some Pine Needles Distress Ink. And then I've got those in the Distress Oxide colors as well. So I'm going to use those colors. I'll probably pull in a little bit of, I may grab some Hickory Smoke and Lost Shadow, possibly some old paper, maybe some antique linen, and maybe some vintage photo and various other browns depending on where we go. Now for the craft stuff, I am going to start with using my Distress Oxides because the Distress inks are translucent, so they're not really going to show up so well on the craft cardstock, whereas the pigment in the Distress Oxide is going to help it to show up better on the craft. And actually, I'm going to just do that and take my ink. And we're just gonna start playing around. And basically, I'm just looking to create stuff that I can then collage together. So it may be for some of them that that's all we're gonna do, and we're just gonna leave it like that to create some interesting collage fodder, because all we're doing now is having a play with our inks. So there's that one, and now I'm gonna put some on my craft mat. Spray it with a little bit of water and grab this piece and pick up color. I'm gonna pull out my heat tool. All right, and I think I'm gonna add some green to this. Let's see, look. I'm gonna put both Pine Needles and Rustic Wilderness down, do a little spritz, do a little schmutz. Let's see what happens when we add that. And I'm gonna set that aside. And I still got green on here, so let's take a piece, crumple it up. Pretty much I'm just cleaning the green up off the mat here, and we're gonna set that aside. And I'm really kind of curious to see what's gonna happen with these guys. And this, because it's white, I think I'm gonna pull out the Distress Inks. Let's just put a little red on the table. See what happens. Interesting. It's kind of beating up and not sinking in. We're gonna set that aside, see what happens with that. So while I'm speeding up this footage of me inking and drying this paper, I wanted to say a quick apology for the fact that my posting schedule has been a bit erratic lately, but I have been having some serious issues with uploading the footage I film on my phone to the iCloud lately. And now I'm going to rant a little bit about the fact that I even have to upload to the iCloud, because it used to be I could plug my phone into my laptop and just transfer the videos straight to my laptop. So one thing to keep in mind with Distress Inks is wet on wet blends, wet on dry layers. So since I'm working with red and greens, and green and red combined together will make brown, I'm being extra careful to make sure I dry between steps if I'm going to mix red and green on the same page, because otherwise I'll end up with brown. Whereas if I let it dry, it will layer on top instead of blend together. Set that aside to dry and try adding some of the green to one of the fabric-y like pieces. And picking back up on the issue of my videos, since I edit my video footage on my laptop, I can't do the editing process until all the footage uploads from my phone to the iCloud, and then I download it to my laptop. And I've had delays of up to like 12 hours trying to get stuff to upload to the cloud lately. You know, the Distress Ink Rustic Wilderness doesn't do too bad on the crafty paper. Let's add a little pine needles to this one. And I've tried figuring out what's causing the delay, and I think it is a combination of Apple, my phone, and my internet connection, because my phone will stop syncing to the cloud to save the battery on my phone when it's plugged in or at full battery. So clearly my phone's doing something funky. I think there's something going on with Apple and the iCloud, because even when my internet connection is strong and the speed is good, it's taking forever to upload stuff, and then I probably just have bouts of slow internet causing problems. And I'm pretty sure that making us upload our stuff to the iCloud before we can download it to our laptop is just a scheme by Apple to make us buy more iCloud storage. I'm a little annoyed I had to get more iCloud storage this weekend. So endeth my rant about uploading to the cloud. Moving on to a more enjoyable topic of Christmas. Last time we talked about making Christmas cards. Now I want to know, do you do other Christmas crafting? And if so, what kind of Christmas crafting do you like to do? For example, do you like to make home decor items, homemade Christmas ornaments? Do you make gingerbread houses, wreaths? Or do you just not really craft at Christmas time? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite Christmas craft projects other than cards are. I am a very big fan of making Christmas wreaths. I love making Christmas wreaths, and this is illustrated by the fact that I put up, I think the last total count was 45 Christmas wreaths in my house, and my house is not that big. Pretty much every single door in my house has a wreath on it. I have a wreath that I hang from the ceiling. I have a couple wreath stands. I even have wreaths on my kitchen cabinets. So yeah, I'm a little obsessive about Christmas wreaths. It's a running joke with all of my friends about the total number of wreaths and whether I've made a new one, because that's the problem. I go to Michael's, I see the cool stuff they have out, and I want to make a new wreath. And then I end up making a new wreath and have to try and figure out where I'm going to put it in the house and where I'm going to store it when Christmas is over. I've also in the past made a variety of Christmas ornaments that some for myself, some that I've made as gifts, and I've made a ton of Christmas decor. I just love all kinds of Christmas crafting. It's my favorite holiday, and I go all out with the decorating and the crafting and all of the things. The only thing on the list I put forth that I don't do is I have never made a gingerbread house. My family has never been big on gingerbread, so I have never made a gingerbread house, despite all of the other crafting. Although I have made cards with gingerbread houses on them. And I do have a mixed media home decor type project that I have planned. I know what I want to do, and I'm hoping I'll have enough time to film it and post it this year for Christmas. And if I don't have enough time to get it posted this year, it may get filmed and posted during Christmas in July next year. If I actually get a chance to work on it. And that's pretty much all I have to say about other Christmas craft projects. But please leave comments down below. Let me know what your favorite Christmas crafting projects are, or if you have any Christmas crafting traditions in your house that you do every year. Also, let me know what you think about me adding the rambling about Christmassy stuff during the speeded up parts on my video. Trying something different here. And let me know if you like it, don't like it, are indifferent. I always welcome constructive criticism, so if you have any thoughts on my rambling chats during the speeded up portions, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to know, all told, I think inking all of the papers that I inked took about a half hour in real time. And since this video has a lot of speeded up portions, we have time for another Christmassy topic. So, Christmas music, yay or nay? Are you a fan? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you get sick of it 2 days after Thanksgiving? What are your thoughts on Christmas music? I know this is probably going to come as a shock based on, what I've been saying about Christmassy stuff so far, but I love Christmas music. I have a ridiculous number of Christmas CDs, and yes, I still have CDs, but I do put them on an MP3 player so that I can sit and listen to them continuously. My one rule is I do not start listening to Christmas music until after Thanksgiving. So once Thanksgiving dinner's done, I can start listening to Christmas music, but I absolutely will not allow myself to listen to Christmas music before then. And my collection of Christmas music is fairly eclectic. It started in my adult life with the Time Life Treasury of Christmas Music, which is like a 4 CD set of classic Christmas music. A lot of instrumental and choral stuff, but also Elvis Presley and the Beach Boys. So I have that. I also have Christmas with the Rat Pack and an Ella Fitzgerald Christmas CD. Okay, so here's the results of all of our inking. So the fabric-y stuff, packaging material stuff, did not work so great. Like, I only put one layer of ink on because it took forever for it to absorb and dry. I don't know, I may play around with it some more, but I would consider this not very successful. I may end up using it because it did take some color, but not what I thought it would do. The parchment paper, not horribly surprised by the fact that it didn't take ink very well because it is coated, and it didn't take the distress ink at all, but it did take some color from the Distress Oxide. So again, wouldn't necessarily categorize this as a great success. The white paper, it actually has a little bit of a coating too, but it definitely took the ink well, and so we've got a variety of pieces, and I kind of tried to do some red and green and some pages that were just red and some that were just green, and then I added in our browns as well. I really like how that one came out. So these are our collage fodder in white. And then the brown crafty paper worked the best. It really loved the ink. And I don't remember which oxide this one is, but it's definitely a little more blue than I thought it would be for a green oxide. Again, oxides are, I'm trying to think, I think it might have been the pine needles. Oxides are not something I'm terribly familiar with. I don't have many, I don't use them all that often. I prefer the Distress inks. But yeah, it definitely, some interesting color going on there. So we got our reds, greens, so. And then the weird corrugated stuff that I just thought was kind of cool took the ink just fine as well. So next step is we're going to create a masterboard, and I'm going to use as my base a piece of coffee dyed paper, and I'm just going to flip that over and just start attaching pieces of the paper we created to this base. And I think I am actually going to use some glue stick for this because I have glue sticks that I just kind of want to use up. All right, so I'm going to use Scotch permanent glue stick because I have it, but it's almost done. So once it's done, I will probably switch to our glitter glue. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply the glue directly to my coffee dyed paper and stick the pages on. And I'm just using, this was a misprint for my printer, so a piece of paper so that I don't get glue all over my work surface. And I'm just gonna tear pieces off and create a masterboard using our collage fodder. And I'm probably going to attach the pieces so that they overhang the edges, because then what I can do is trim it around and it'll just be easier than trying to get it to match up perfectly. And these papers are fairly thin, so I'm okay with overlapping them. Returning to the topic of Christmas music, my more modern favorites include the Bare Naked Ladies Christmas album, which is a whole lot of fun. And then I really love all of the Christmas albums by Straight No Chaser, and they're a all-male a cappella group, and their Christmas albums are fantastic. And speaking of a cappella groups, I absolutely adore Pentatonics, so I have all of their Christmas CDs as well. And one of my Christmas guilty pleasures with regards to Christmas music is the Glee Christmas albums. So I have all 4 of those, although one of the CDs has gone missing. I have no idea where it went. And then, of course, a little bit more traditional Christmas music of Harry Connick Jr., who is fantastic. I even have a Hanukkah CD. Well, my father has a Hanukkah CD that I borrowed, and it's by the Levies, and it is highly entertaining. So yeah, I joke, I have a friend who is Jewish, and I have more Hanukkah music than he does, and I'm not Jewish, so I definitely love a wide variety of Christmas music. Although I'm gonna say something controversial right now, not a fan of Mariah Carey. And while I do really enjoy Nat King Cole and his Christmas album, he has recorded the worst Christmas song ever. It's called The Little Boy That Santa Claus Forgot, and it is horribly depressing because it's about a little boy who doesn't have a father and who doesn't get any presents for Christmas, and there's no twist happy ending at the end of the song. It's just sad. So yeah, he that is the one song from an album that I have not kept on my MP3 player. I deleted it because it is just the worst Christmas song. But interestingly enough, Nat King Cole also has the best Christmas decorating song for decorating your Christmas tree, and it's called The Happiest Christmas Tree, and I listen to it whenever I decorate my Christmas tree because it is perfect for decorating your Christmas tree. So be sure to leave me a comment down below. Let me know about your Christmas crafting, holiday crafts, if you do any, and what your thoughts are on Christmas music and whether you like it, hate it, can't make it through the Christmas season without it. Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so there we go. Let's move all the collage fodder out of the way a little bit. So here is our master board from our non-craft supply collage fodder. few spots that may need tacking down, and I will just double check everything when I cut this down into pieces, when I go to use it, and make sure everything's glued down all the way. And we're gonna trim off all of our excess around the edges, if we can find our scissors. So that's all for today. Here is our masterboard made from collage fodder, made from non-craft supplies. In another video, we will turn this into some tags, journaling cards, maybe a card base or a belly band. You know, you can do whatever you want with it once you've created it. You're only limited by your imagination. So if you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.